Hello everyone, it's Vela from Online Combat Battalion with another Arma 3 editor tutorial for you. This one will show you how to do a helicopter extraction for your troops using an AI helicopter crew. I've previously done a tutorial on this, but people are reporting they're having some issues with it. It's not working since game updates, etc. So I'm doing a new tutorial on it, and this is a simple method that does work as has been tested. So the first thing you need is a playable unit, which I've placed down. In the playable unit, you need to give him the variable name of whatever you like, but I've used S for Sierra 1. So he has a variable name. Secondly, I have placed a helicopter with an AI aircrew. In the attributes for the helicopter, I have given the aircraft the variable name of heli 1. You can use whatever you like. Two lines of code here. We have heli 1 disable AI and move in inverted commas closed with a semicolon, and heli 1, which again is the variable name, fly in height ASL, all one word, and then in square brackets 60 comma space 60 comma space 60 and close square bracket with a semicolon. I might also open the cargo doors, which you can do if you're using Eden Enhanced. What I've done now is I've given the helicopter a waypoint. Now the first waypoint for the helicopter, and to access waypoints you can simply go to F4 for waypoints, click on the one you want provided the unit you want to give it to is selected, and just click on the map where you want the waypoint, or you can left shift right click and it will place a waypoint down for you. So this first waypoint I've placed is a hold waypoint. Okay, so we've selected hold from this list. And I have placed a trigger, just a small one, and I've also placed one OP4 soldier. Now in the trigger condition, I have type skip waypoint, activation OP4, activation type not present, and in the on activation section I have put heli 1, which is the variable name of our helicopter, enable AI, and then inverted commas move close with a semicolon. Then right click, connect set waypoint activation to the hold waypoint. So what that means is when OP4 is not present in this trigger, the trigger will activate, which will enable the hold waypoint. So the chopper will then take off, fly in to this waypoint. The next waypoint I have is a move waypoint. If we double left click, we need to go in there, and in the on activation section for the waypoint, we need to type vehicle, this, land, and then in single inverted commas, get in, and then closed with a semicolon. So what that will do is tell the chopper that it needs to land on the move waypoint and wait for people to get in. The next waypoint I've set for the chopper is another hold waypoint. So again, this waypoint won't be activated until it is fired by a trigger. And you can see I've placed a trigger right here. I'm going to double left click on the trigger, and again this is type skip waypoint, activation any player, activation type present, and I've also put the condition S1 in this list, and semicolon. So this trigger will activate when any player is present, provided S1 is in this list. And if you'll remember, S1 is the variable name of my AI, or correction, my playable unit. Then I have synced this waypoint, correction, this trigger, to this waypoint. So this waypoint is telling the chopper that there is a waypoint and it needs to hold until a condition is met, which is the trigger. And once that is met, the chopper will then fly off to this last waypoint that I have set, which is a loiter waypoint. With a loiter waypoint, you can set the direction of loiter. The loiter radius I'll make 200, and the loiter altitude I'll make 100. So, just to recap, chopper with a variable name of heli1 and command of heli1 disable AI move inside the attributes of the chopper. Heli1 disable AI move. Heli fly in height 60 times 3 inside square brackets with a comma and space in between all. You don't need to put that in there, but it does help the AI to not fly way up into the air. The chopper's first waypoint is a hold, and that waypoint will be activated when this trigger is fired, which is a skip waypoint, op4 not present, and in on activation heli1 enable AI move. So when this guy is taken out, this trigger will fire, which will move the chopper to this location. He will then go to the next move waypoint, which we have placed in the on activation section. Vehicle this, land, get in single inverted commas with a semicolon. Then another hold waypoint and a trigger synced to the last hold waypoint with skip waypoint, any player present, and S1 in this list, semicolon. I've also placed, you may notice, this yellow thing here, and you might be wondering exactly what that thing is. Go to Objects and to Props and start typing in the word invisible. You'll see that there is a helipad invisible. I've placed that down. The reason being is that the AI will always look for a helipad to land on. Now, you don't want a helipad to be visible to your players in this, but the AI will be looking for a helipad, and that is exactly where they will land. Rather than having them land anywhere in the vicinity that they feel like, all over the place, they will land on the helipad because they're looking for it. Okay, so let's try that out and see how that all works together. Okay, we're in the mission and I've got enemy AI around there, my op4 guy, but I'm just going to hide for the moment. I'm going to open up Zeus and we'll go up to where the helicopter is placed, just to show you that the engine hasn't started, they're not moving, they're not doing anything at the moment. Now I'm going to go around the corner and I'm going to take this enemy troop out. So he's down. Then I go back into Zeus and you can see that the helicopter is actually spooling up and starting now. Now, like I said before, if you want to muck around with making his first waypoint a loiter, you're going to need to use an additional skip waypoint that you need to sync a trigger to. So I'm trying to keep it simple, and you can place this chopper wherever you like, at a base area. You can have him flying up in the air when you place him on the map in the editor. It doesn't really matter. So the chopper will now fly down to us, and I'll just speed this up a little. Okay, so I can hear him coming in. There he is. Alright, mate. Now you'll see, because I've used that flying height command, that he's flying quite a bit lower than AI would normally fly. However, still it's not great piloting because it is AI, but it's not bad. Now he's going to the waypoint, the move waypoint we placed with the land information in the on activation section, so he will land there, and he will remain there until any player is present, including the variable name S1, which is what my variable name is. I've put a slight delay on the trigger of 10 seconds just to enable people to get over to it, and you'll see he's landed exactly where I placed the invisible helipad. And now we'll fly off to our Loiter waypoint. And he's going quite slowly because I've set him as limited speed. Now if you don't want the chopper to loiter, if you want to actually drop your troops somewhere, I'm just going to move this Loiter waypoint, and I'm going to put it back down on the ground, which you can do by pressing left alt, left click, and down to the ground. That's reasonably flat there, but it is near a tree, so I might just move it a little bit. We don't want an AI piloting disaster. Now I'm going to double left click on this, and I'm going to select transport unload. Okay, so that's now a transport unload. So what will happen is, after we've been picked up at the extraction point, we'll be flown over to here where the chopper will land, and it will boot out all of the players in the chopper, but not the crew. And I'll show you how that works. So we've completed our task, we've been extracted, and we're on our way to the transport unload waypoint. He's going to touch down, and there we go. Any players inside the chopper will be booted out. And now he'll go fly off to another waypoint if you want to give him another waypoint. But because I didn't, he's just going to hover there. Okay, you have multiple team members and you want to make sure the chopper doesn't leave until all the team members are on board the chopper. And the way we do that is, I've given myself two guys here, and I've given them the variable names of S2 and S3. And in the condition of the trigger, rather than having S1 in this list, I've changed it to S1 in area this trigger, semicolon, S2 in area this trigger, semicolon, and the same for S3. So now this trigger will not activate until everyone is inside the trigger, all your playable units. So you'll need to give all your playable units a variable name and add them into the trigger via that means. So variable name in area this trigger. you can add multiples along there. Okay, and I'll show you that that does work. Okay, so we've taken out the Op 4 troop. The chopper's now on its way in, and because I don't want these guys to follow me to demonstrate this does work, I'm just going to get them to move there. And here comes the helo. Now the helo won't leave until all three of us are on board. Okay, the trigger is not yet activated because all variables are not yet on board. I'll order these two guys to get in. And once they're in, after a 5-second delay, we're on our way to our next waypoint. So this is the best and most reliable way to do a helicopter extraction via AI unless you're using some other mod or script to do it. There's no external scripts required for this, and mods are not dependent on this. It will work with any of the mods you use. If you have any questions, hit us up in the comments section below. Give us a thumbs up, a sub if you haven't already, and you can also visit our Discord. Link will be in the description. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.